Hello, it's another day on Earth, and today I'm going to continue putting my thoughts out to the world, not again because I think they're important, but if they're never out there, then nobody will ever see them anyway to even know them in the first place. And I want to talk about making friends. I'm 23, I was homeschooled. I never went to public school. The most I had was a homeschoolers PE meetup at a local YMCA, which, I mean, I made some friends at, but my mom never gave me a phone or any way to contact anyone outside of it at that age, so it was really just friends I only met at that place and never really went anywhere past that. I only had one friend who went beyond it because my mom was nice enough to email his mom for us to get Xbox Live gamer tags to then friend, and we occasionally played stuff then, but I haven't talked to that person, and I don't remember the last time I talked to that person, honestly. So why is it so hard to make friends? Like, seriously, like I worked at my airport for 2.5 years, and I saw countless people, and I only made two friends, and that across those 2.5 years, and I wouldn't even call them friends. They're surface level. They don't talk to me ever. I don't go out and do things with them. It's just that. I know them on a non-professional level, but that's it. And so over 2.5 years of work, I didn't get anything out of it in terms of friends. I learned how to talk and interact with people infinitely better, but no friends, and that's just weird. I spent my entire life online, and so when I have that shock at my first job with trying to talk to people again, it's just so weird. Online, I can talk to anyone, literally. I can go into Discord, I can join a new Discord server and just talk to people, and there's no judgment usually, and it's just normal communication is what it should be. When you go, what you would imagine going to your local bar and talking to some random stranger, that's what you imagine, but it only happens on Discord nowadays. Talking to strangers is like rude almost. Like, I'm scared to talk to people. I went to the grocery store 2 days ago, and this old guy was commenting, you can use a lighter for that, as I'm wiping the sanitary wipe on the shopping cart. And I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, you're right. And he kept trying to say things there, but he spoke so quietly that I struggled to hear him. And eventually, we walk off, but I'm going through the store later, and I see he's presumably harassing this woman who's working stocking shelves. And at one point, I just hear her say, "Excuse me, sir, I'm going to walk away now." It's just so funny. I don't know what he said to her. Clearly, he said some interesting stuff, but it was just, how I felt about this person. I was kind of annoyed because I couldn't understand what they were saying, and then later on, it appeared to be harassing some worker. And it's just like, is this what it's at? I mean, it's just like I never talked to anyone in person ever again. Like, it's just so different from online. When you're in person, there's consequences. Online, if you don't want to talk to someone, you just open another chat or close the app or literally anything, and it's just like that. In person, you have so many consequences. You see the person's face, you see their emotions. There's physicality to it. You could very well get injured. And it's just like, there's so much complexity to being in person. I can't blame how many people just interact online now. But if you are ever somebody who wants to take that plunge to be in person again. I just, I don't know how people do it. I don't know where people go, it's just so different. And, for the longest time, I thought making friends would be easy. You go to somewhere with a common interest and you just talk to people. But is it really that easy? I don't know. I talked with an older friend of mine recently on a bunch of stuff about life because most of my friends are neets and they don't really have life experience, so it's hard to ask them. And he was talking most of his friends that he had on in person were from meetups and stuff, and I was like, okay, so if I want to find friends, I need to go to a meetup. So I looked, what can I do to just simply have an opportunity where it is expected to talk with the other person, where it's not it doesn't feel hostile to talk with a complete stranger. And the thing that came to mind was hiking, because that's something I have interest in, and I would imagine I'd like most people who have that similar interest too. So it's like, okay, maybe I'll find some cool friends, somebody to break this online life I have that has done so much, so many interesting consequences that I have to experience because of doing everything online for so long. But and I go and I can only find one hiking group in my local area. Well, it's not even local. It's based on a city that's an hour and a half away, but it's the closest thing I could find. The closest thing I have is Chicago, and I'm too far away from Chicago to make use of it, so I have to find something closer. But I go and join the group. It's on meetup.com. Blah blah blah. And I'm just kind of struck with the realization that because of where I live, these are all people I really feel like I'm not going to relate to. They're all older, or, I mean, for lack of a better term, normal people. They're not chronically online. And so it's just like, I'm going to go to this one meetup, and am I just going to be stuck with a bunch of these, boomers or Gen X who have somehow bought a house, they have a wife and family, or a spouse and family, and, they have a stable job, and they're just going to talk about, I bought my new 2026 F-150, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. Imagine buying a new car. Ha ha ha. It's like, is that what I'm going to get to experience, or is there going to be people who I relate to? And the truth is, I don't know. I didn't go to any of them yet. There was one of them a couple of days ago I debated, but I just couldn't, I couldn't collect myself to go off such a short notice. And so when I do go to one of them, because I think I know I need to, it's a rare opportunity I need to take, but I go to one, it's just like, I'm so anxious to go there and just have to, hold these conversations with people. And, these aren't conversations with some random person I'm never going to see again. These are people who I am probably going to see again, and I actually want to care about. I want to have a good interaction with and build something from. I want to have people in my life who aren't online. And so when you go from the line of, oh, it's just whatever, I'm never talking to this person, into it's like you actually want your interaction to be genuine and for it to matter. It's so much more anxious because I don't know. I don't know how to really do that in person. I'm used to being able to choose my words so carefully that I stutter talking so much. My coworkers commented all the time how much I stuttered. And they're right. I grew up being able to choose my words at a rate that I was comfortable with, but you just can't do that in person. So I have to go there and I have to have these genuine interactions, and I don't really know how it's gonna go. It's just so hard to make friends, to actually do that. And like, we're not even talking about the chances of me meeting someone who I'd actually want to be friends. We're just assuming that will happen. We're not going to talk about how rare that's probably going to be. Because again, they're all old people or older than me who I don't think I'm going to relate to. And I'm going to go there and just, it's going to be so anxious, man. And the thing that kind of sucks is I just assume it's going to be on me. That somebody else isn't going to reach out to talk to me. I'm going to have to be the one to make the first move. Because in my life, I've always had to make the first move. Nobody has ever shown interest in anything ever in my life. I have no partner, no friend, nobody ever takes the initiative for me. I've always had to take initiative. Like, I've had partners who, after time, they'll become established and then, they'll do stuff, but the leaps for everything have always been on me and everything. And like, in romantic relationships, I mean, I get it. I attract that type of person, and because I like that type of person, so that's whatever. But outside of it, even, I'm always, messaging first. I'm always asking to play. So I rarely ever get asked to play. It's actually just so uncanny. And so is that going to translate to in person? Am I going to have to initiate everything and just, walk up to someone in one of these meetings and say, "Oh, hello, I'm X, and what do you like about hiking?" or something? And am I going to appear creepy? Am I going to appear weird? Is somebody going to suss me out as a chronically online loser I am? Or is it going to be some, my mind just goes on and on about all the scenarios, and I don't know I don't know how to navigate it. Dealing with interactions that you want to be genuine and actually matter is hard. It really is. And I just don't know. It's so hard to make friends now. Why is it so hard to find people who will take that first step instead? Like, okay, I get it romantically, but why outside of that, why do I still find myself doing the first step in so many things? I just wish for once, somebody else would invite me out to do something. just anything. It would be nice. And maybe I'll get something good out of talking with the people in the hiking thing. I don't know. When I finally go, maybe it'll all be fine. But across the board, it's just so hard to make friends. And I guess it's just the surface level. We haven't even gotten to the point of, maintaining it, how, and all that stuff. Because even if it's not romantic, you still don't want to message too much. You don't want to be weird. You don't want to, like, nag a whole lot. And the person also could, of course, be an asshole in the future. You don't know. It's just there's so many things to deal with. And you have to deal with this with somebody who you can't just hit the block button and, cut from your life, theoretically. They're physical then. They exist. They exist near you in the same geographic area. And I don't know. It's just a lot to think about. And I wish it was easier to make friends. It would be nice. It really would. I still can't get over that. 2.5 years at an airport, I got nothing out of it, genuinely. I knew coworkers there who were better friends with each other than me over that period of time. Like, it is so weird. And speaking of the thing at work that I found really interesting is I had some African American coworkers who, in a matter of 1 week of meeting each other at work, were going to the gym and a bowling alley together. That just blew my mind. These people didn't know each other before, and then just like that, they're doing things that I hadn't done with my coworkers that I had known for over a year at that point. It was crazy. And that's when I learned that, marginalized people, they find strength in numbers. And so when you're part of a marginalized group, you just, and you can tell that somebody else is a part of that marginalized group, you guys have something in common to, bond over and form a kinship over that helps break the ice that people like me can't directly relate to. I don't get that experience in public spaces. And that was just so interesting to me because clearly people are capable of making friends when you have something to bond over that is so obviously something that you both can connect on. But when you don't, what do you do? I mean, do I wear wear a shirt that says like a Team Fortress 2 or like Deadlock or something on that and see if that breaks the ice? I don't know. It's hard to figure out, but yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about meeting people and friendship and how hard it is in person because maybe somebody else there feels this way. Maybe somebody else here can relate to it or has some way to suggest, strategies for it because, well, I think in a relationship, everybody has their own story and nobody can predict their own. And when it comes to things that don't matter so much, that aren't so personalized like this, I think there are more patterns that at least you can base off of. Like, I don't like following a formula for somebody who I really care about, like, romantically, but I think it's fine with people outside of that field because you're just going to be going through so many more of them than you are partners. Although there are people who do go through a lot of partners, and it's just whatever they want to do. But yeah, that's all. I mean, hope you guys have a good day on Earth, and enjoy the rest of your evening, night, or day.